I'm Gillian Keating, co-founder of iWish. Welcome to iWish 2024.
Good morning, everybody. How are we? You're very welcome along to the RDS to the 10th iWish event. I think that deserves a massive round of applause that iWish are 10 years in business. Today is a day of celebration of STEM, but it's also a day just for you girls. It is a celebration of some of the coolest technology, the smartest women, and a celebration of life-transforming science and amazing engineering projects, all right here in the RDS.
This morning, I want to speak to you, the students, who are attending today's event. First of all, thank you for being here. Today will be a showcase of smart technologies.
Know your potential, and when you have a chance, take your opportunities, as you heard earlier. And it's wonderful to see you, and they were absolutely great questions, and I've enjoyed our conversation. I addressed the iWish before virtually from my office, from my, on computer. It's much, much nicer to see the numbers of you here, and I wish you the most, complete belief in the importance of STEM subjects in your career, and then after that you fulfill your potential, because we need girl power and young women power and women power generally. We need it more than ever. Okay.
The research that I'm doing, it's on maths in secondary school. So it's all of you guys and seeing, right, how are we taught, how can we prove what's been done, and also how can we progress maths education so that you enjoy what you're doing. Because if you like what you're doing, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to want to do it that little bit more. So, Laura beat me to it. Do you like maths? And can I get a show of hands then from the people who do like maths? I'm going to make you put up your hands again. I can kind of see you in the back. I'm going to get a show of hands to people who absolutely hate it. Grant. So, have a look at this. You might recognize some of these headlines. Maths gets a bit of a bad rep in the media, right? So there's all the headlines about this year's Leaving Cert. And for some reason, maths is always that one where you're not too sure why it's getting slammed as a cruel joke, okay? So, building on from there, I want to talk to you about this, and that is maths anxiety. So, maths anxiety, what is it? It's a negative emotional response. So it's a stress. And what that looks like is this little guy here. So, hard to think clearly, rapid breathing, sweating, traumatic experiences, tummy ache, trembling. And it's not just not liking maths, right? So for the people who said, I don't like maths, that doesn't necessarily mean it's maths anxiety. So I want to be very clear about that. But what happens when you feel like this? So he doesn't look very happy there. And you end up in a situation with this cycle that goes on. So it's the maths anxiety cycle, and it's a negative maths experience. So that means then that you're going to avoid doing it. You then avoid doing it, which means then you prepare poorly. You come in to do a test then, you're not going to perform very well, and you're not going to want to repeat it. Okay, so we all know that if you're doing something in school, you don't really like it, you might try and avoid it. You then come to do it, and you're not going to do that well, and it just keeps going around and around. So what we need to look at with this is this issue. So it's typically higher in girls than boys, okay? Now, when I say typically, I just mean over a vast population of research, okay? So what we need to look at with this is the impact. So it's these kind of negative feelings. You're going to lack confidence, wanting to quit, no point in trying. You might think that you're the only person in this, and you just throw the books down and say, right, I'm not going to do it. And it's that helplessness feeling. But I want to make this point really clearly. Although it's higher in girls than boys, on performance, boys and girls are on par. Okay, so these are equal. But girls feel that they're not as good as boys. So you are automatically putting yourselves that little bit down. So what we want to say today is that you need to say, right, I am good enough. I can try this. And if you feel stuck, you know when you start something and you're stuck and you really feel like you're not going to be able to progress at it, that's when you need to say, right, I have two options. I can either go away from it and forget about it and pretend like it's not happening, or I can come back and try something again. Boys tend to put themselves a little bit higher and they say, oh yeah, I think I'm great, right? I think I'll give it a go. I'm making very general statements here now. And what's happening in the research is that girls aren't doing that. They're saying, I'm not sure. I'm not willing to try it then if I'm not sure. And that's what we need to break down. Two people here. We've got a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And I wanted to have a look at even the imagery there. The fixed mindset, it's got a lock on it, a padlock. And then in the growth mindset, this flower is growing out of a flower pot, okay? You might not think that's what's going on in your head, but that is a growth mindset. And from the research that we've been doing at the moment, on the left here, this is what your teachers want in you as students. And this is what mathematicians in third level, this is what they want from their students and the people coming into them, okay? So they want you to be confident. Persistent, so they want you to keep going with it. Resilient there, that means that if you've made a mistake, you've gotten stuck, you've gotten frustrated, but you come back and try again. Willing to give it a go. Your teachers and the mathematicians both want you to make mistakes, okay? Maths is not just about being right. It's about making a mistake and progressing on from it. And this one over here, then, the mathematicians, they want you to understand rather than the speed. Your times tables. The quickest person to know 5 by 5 does not mean they're the best at maths, okay? It's not about speed, it's about understanding. And your growth mindset, having the belief that you can improve in the subject, okay? So even if you feel that you're a little bit stuck, but knowing that if you put in time and effort, you will get better than it. That is your growth mindset. And that's what I want you to all come away from today really believing, that if you try and try and try, your effort will pay off and you will progress in it. Just because you find something hard, which is maths, if you find it hard, doesn't mean you're not good at it. I find it hard, but I still believe that I can be good at it. And that applies to everything. So I want everyone going away thinking, I've got a growth mindset. If I try really hard, I can get better at it.
When people used to ask me what I wanted to do, I used to reply, become a teacher, because I was afraid of people judging me for wanting to go into a male-dominated career. So, when I was in TY, I had to choose my Leaving Cert subjects. I chose all 3 sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, while also choosing French. My mum's friend brought me around a plant tour of her company, and after spending the day with her, I knew I wanted to be an engineer. So during my final year in college, I applied for the graduate role, and when I got the job, I started off in the base capital team, where I managed small projects on a manufacturing plant in Little Island. This was completely different to what I had studied in college, and it made me realise, just because I studied chemical engineering in college, I wasn't confined to just working in a chemical engineering role. I worked with various departments across the site, including IT, supply chain, quality, and I was surprised to learn that some of my colleagues in these departments had engineering backgrounds as well. This taught me that what you study in college is only a base, and that STEM subjects and courses can open so many doors that you mightn't even know exist yet. Remember to keep your options open. You might be surprised where they take you. And my advice to you is to embrace STEM, trust yourself and your support system, and don't hesitate to step outside your comfort zone. The journey might have challenges, but it will be worth it in the end.
So about 10 years ago, when I was 11 and my brother was 9, my brother decided that he really, really wanted to be an engineer. So as part of his research, he researched online how to become an engineer. And in one article it said to attempt to make a can opener. So he would spend hours each day attempting to make this can opener. When I was young, I really liked the look of this, So I really wanted to help. But whenever I tried to help my brother, he would get really angry, throw a tantrum, tell me to go away, and that made me upset. So my family at the time told me to leave him alone, that he was the boy, and he was going to be an engineer, and I'm the girl, and I was going to be a nurse. I was really confused at this, being told I can't do something just because I'm a girl, even though there was physically nothing holding me back. I think it's ever since then that I've had in my head, why can't I make a can opener just because I'm a girl? Or why couldn't I be an engineer just because I'm a girl? My career path so far, so I finished my junior cert in 2018, and then it became time for me to pick my leaving cert subjects. I actually chose all business subjects and French. So that really goes to show that it doesn't matter what you do for your leaving cert, that determines what you do later on in life. Just do what you enjoy at the time. I finished my leaving cert in 2020 and I was awarded with 510 points. This is considered a really good leaving cert, so the traditional academic route was expected of me, and I actually got my first choice on the CAO, which was International Commerce in NUIG. But I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and deep down I did want to be an engineer, but I was afraid of the maths and about the fact that I was a girl. You don't have to be amazing at maths or science to be an engineer. Not all engineers use complex maths. All engineers do use problem solving. Don't let the maths steer you away from doing engineering. College is not the only path into the workplace. Apprenticeships aren't only for boys, and work smarter, not hard.
One final question. A lot of girls here in the audience. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
For me, it is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? So just be courageous and be brave, because sometimes I found in my career, you're afraid of change because you're comfortable and you're afraid you'll fail, and that is the wrong reason not to do something. So I think take risks, be brave. You learn, you'll be out of your comfort zone. And when I have done that, it has been transformational for my career and the opportunities that have come for me. So girls, do not be afraid. Just go for it. Be courageous. You will not regret it.
Be authentic, so be yourself. Don't be anybody else. Don't try to be anybody else. Believe in your abilities. Think outside the box, and genuinely I mean this, don't ever underestimate that you have the power to change the world.
I think my favourite bit of advice is that a year from now you'll wish you started today. So whatever that applies to in your life, I know today that we're talking about STEM and we all want you to get into STEM, but if it's learning to code or if it's picking up a new sport, just start it off, do little bits and it'll all add up over time, and you'll get to where you want to be.
Don't worry too much. You'll figure things out. Ask people what their job is about. Don't stress. Try things out, and always make that call because you never know where it might land.
It doesn't really matter what you choose in college, so long as it interests you, because the skills you develop can be applied to any area you want.
I have a fantastic job, which I love. I lead a team of about 700 people. They're spread all around the world. And I've been in the tech sector actually for almost 30 years now, initially with Intel and then now with Dell. And look, I suppose when I think about the tech sector, what do I love about it? 3 things. Number one day is never the same as the next. So I'm never bored. And I know we all suffer from boredom. So this is what I love about it. Secondly, I do get to work with people all over the world, and I get to travel a lot. And the other thing about tech is, it's constantly inventing new things that we all use as consumers every day. So it's lovely to be at the kind of epicenter of all of that.
On my very first day of work, my first boss told me that he didn't mind if I made a mistake, but he'd mind if I made the same mistake twice. So what I'd like you to take away is that we all make mistakes, but you can turn them into something good by learning from them.
There's one thing that we know, it's that scientists are going to solve the future challenges for our time. And we need every science heroine that we can get.
Informing, it was inspiring and very motivational as well.
Interesting, inspiring, and fun.
I feel like it was powerful, inspirational, and interesting.
Entertaining, inspirational, and interesting.
Eventful, exciting, and informative.
Diverse, interesting, and engaging.
The Irish event has broadened my horizons on so many different areas in STEM and all the different kind of routes you can go down. And there's so much opportunity for not only women but for everybody in the Irish programs. Really just showed me that it's possible for women to do anything.
Mary Robinson, because I thought she was like, her life was a really great example for all the young women out there, and she was really inspiring and her talk was really engaging as well, and I loved her dance at the end.